I bought a piece of land that had nothing on it. No power line, no water pipe, no road, barely. Just dirt, trees, and silence. 90 days later, I was showering with hot water, charging my laptop, flushing a toilet, and cooking dinner. And I have never once paid a utility bill. No grid, no gas company. No, sorry, your service has been disconnected. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how much this actually cost. Not the fantasy $20,000 number the internet keeps repeating. The real number, the mistakes that almost sank the whole project, and the one system that, if you get it wrong, will make your entire off-grid home fail in the first winter. So don't skip ahead. The part everyone gets wrong is at minute 9, and it's the part that decides whether you're living comfortably or hauling water in the snow at 6 a.m. Before we get into it, hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because I'm documenting this build in real time, and the next video is the one where I show you what happens the first time a storm knocks out 3 days of sun in a row. You don't want to miss that stress test. Alright, let's start from the very beginning, the empty land. Here's the truth nobody puts in the thumbnail. Your entire off-grid budget is decided the moment you buy the land, not the moment you build the house. In 2026, raw rural land in off-grid friendly states. Think Alaska, New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, parts of Missouri, runs anywhere from about $5,000 to $50,000 an acre depending on how remote and how developed it is. Cheap land near a city is a myth. Cheap land far from everything is real, and it comes with trade-offs. 3 things I checked before I signed anything. Sun exposure. I walked the lot at different times of day. A gorgeous forested lot sounds romantic until you realize your solar panels are going to sit in shade from October to March. Water access. Is there a seasonal creek? What's the water table like? Can you legally drill a well here? And what does a permit cost in this county? Zoning and access. This is the boring part that ruins dreams. Some counties don't care what you build. Others require a minimum square footage, a septic permit, or won't let you live in anything on wheels. I call the county planning office before I bought, not after. Ask anyone who skipped that step, and they'll tell you it's the most expensive phone call they never made. Let's kill the myth right now. You'll see videos claiming a full, off-grid, tiny home for $15,000 all in. Technically possible if you already own the land, do 100% of the labor yourself, and buy second-hand everything. For most people building from empty land, here's what the real 2026 numbers look like. Land, $5,000 to $50,000, depending on location. Tiny home build itself. A DIY build and materials alone runs $20,000 to $50,000. A professionally built one runs $50,000 to $150,000. Off-grid solar and battery system. $8,000 to $20,000 for a fully sized setup. Sometimes up to $60,000 if you're going big with a large battery bank. Water system, well or rainwater catchment. $3,000 to $15,000. Waste system, composting toilet or septic. $1,000 to $10,000. Permits, site prep, delivery. Another $5,000 to $15,000. Added up in a realistic off-grid tiny home build, land included, land somewhere between $40,000 and $150,000. That's still a fraction of the price of an average American home, which is sitting close to $500,000 in 2026. But it is not 15 grand. I'd rather tell you the real number now than have you run out of money halfway through a build. One more honest note. The federal residential solar tax credit that used to soften this cost officially expired at the end of 2025. So if your budget assumed that discount, recalculate, because in 2026, you're paying full price on the solar system. Once the land was mine and permits were sorted, it was time to actually put something on the dirt. I went with a permanent pier foundation instead of a trailer chassis because I wasn't planning to move this house. And a foundation-based build unlocks a much better solar setup later, which I'll explain in a minute. The framing itself is standard stick frame construction, but the insulation is where off-grid living quietly wins or loses. This is not a place to cut corners. Every degree of heat you lose in winter is a degree your limited battery stored energy has to replace. I used closed cell spray foam in the walls and roof. It costs more upfront than fiberglass bats, but it multiplies your R value and shrinks your heating load dramatically. In an off-grid house, insulation isn't a comfort upgrade. It's the thing that decides whether your battery bank survives February. Windows, fewer, smaller, and better sealed than a typical house. Every window is a hole in your thermal envelope. I still get plenty of light. I just didn't go for the wall of glass look you see in tiny home photos, because that look comes with a heating bill you can't pay with sunshine in January. This is the system that makes or breaks off-grid living, and it's worth slowing down on. There are 3 ways to power a tiny home with solar in 2026. Off-grid, battery-based. Panels charge a battery bank, and the battery runs the house, full stop. Maximum independence. No grid connection needed anywhere. This is what I built because my land has no power line within miles. Grid-tied, no battery, cheapest option, but you're still fully dependent on the utility. Not really off-grid, just solar-assisted. Hybrid, battery for your nightly baseline. Grid is backup for cloudy stretches. Great option if you're near power lines and just want lower bills, but it's not true independence. For a genuinely off-grid tiny home, you're sizing a system around your daily energy use. A typical tiny home uses somewhere around 6 to 10 kilowatt hours a day. To cover that safely, including a couple of cloudy days in a row without rationing power, you want a battery bank size at roughly double your daily use. So somewhere in the 15 to 20 kilowatt hour range, paired with 3 to 6 kilowatts of panels depending on your latitude and how much winter sun you actually get. I mounted my panels on the ground instead of the roof. Here's why that mattered. A ground mount lets you angle the panels precisely for your latitude, keeps the weight off the structure, and this is the part people don't think about. It's dramatically easier to clean snow and dust off panels that are at eye level instead of on a roof 12 feet up in a blizzard. Battery chemistry matters too. LiFePO4, lithium iron phosphate, is the standard now. It costs more upfront than older lead-acid batteries, but lasts roughly 10 to 15 years versus 3 to 5, and it's far safer thermally. Over a 25-year system life, including 1 round of battery and inverter replacement, you're looking at somewhere between $5,000 and $15,000 in total solar costs for a typical tiny home, which sounds like a lot until you remember it's replacing a power bill forever. Now here's the mistake that almost got me. I originally sized my system for summer production, because that's when I was testing it. Then October hit. Days got shorter, the sun sat lower in the sky, and my production dropped by almost half. If you only size for your best month, you will freeze in your worst month. Size for your worst month, and summer takes care of itself. Here's the part one told you about at the start. Water is the system that quietly breaks off-grid dreams, because everybody obsesses over solar and treats water like an afterthought. You basically got 2 honest options on raw land: drill a well or harvest rainwater. Some people do both. A well gives you the most reliable year-round supply, but drilling costs vary wildly by region and depth, anywhere from a few $1,000s to well over $10,000, and you need a permit in most counties. It also needs a pump, and that pump needs power, which means it's another draw on your solar system that you have to plan for, not bowl on afterward. Rainwater catchment is cheaper to set up and pairs beautifully with a metal roof, but it depends entirely on your climate. If you're in a region with real dry seasons, you cannot rely on rainwater alone. You need serious storage capacity to bridge the gaps, or a backup source. I went with a drilled well, plus a secondary rainwater tank for the garden and non-drinking uses, because I did not want my entire water supply gambling on rainfall patterns. That decision alone cost more upfront, but it's the reason I've never had a day without water. The lesson here: don't design your water system last. Design it at the same time as your solar system, because they're connected. Your pump, your filtration, potentially a small water heater, all of it draws from the same battery bank running your lights and your fridge. Nobody wants to talk about this on camera, but it's a real decision with real cost. So let's talk about it. Composting toilets are the go-to for off-grid tiny homes. No plumbing, no water use, no septic permit in many counties, and modern units are genuinely not the horror show people imagine. They're sealed, low odor, and just require you to manage the compost bin periodically. Cost-wise, you're looking at a few $100s for a basic unit up to a couple $1,000 for a self-contained electric one. The alternative is a full septic system, which is more expensive, requires a percolation test and a permit, but gives you a completely normal flushing toilet and gray water handling in one package. If you want the house to feel indistinguishable from a normal home, septic is the route. It's just a bigger chunk of your budget, and your county's rules will decide a lot of this for you regardless of preference. I went composting mainly because my county's septic permitting process for a lot this small was expensive and slow, and I wanted to actually be living out here this year, not next year. Everything above works great in a YouTube thumbnail. The real test is the first cold snap. For heating, I avoided anything that draws heavily on electricity because that's exactly when your solar production is lowest. A propane heater or a wood stove as the primary heat source, with electric heat as a backup only, is the standard off-grid approach, and it's the right one. Let your limited winter solar power go toward your fridge, your water pump, and your lights. Let combustion handle the heat. I also kept a small backup generator on site, not because the system is supposed to fail, but because supposed to doesn't survive 5 cloudy days in a row in December. It's cheap insurance for the 1 week a year the sun just doesn't show up. And that insulation decision from earlier? This is the moment it pays off. A well-insulated tiny home with a wood stove can coast through a cold night on almost nothing. A poorly insulated one will drain a battery bank, trying to keep up, and lose that fight. The day I flipped the system on for the first time, lights, fridge, water pump, all of it running off panels, and a battery bank sitting on dirt that had nothing on it 3 months earlier. That's the moment that stopped being a spreadsheet and became a home. No utility company has my address. No one can shut anything off. If the grid goes down for the entire region, my lights stay on exactly like they did the night before. It's not free. I want to be honest about that one more time, because too many videos oversell this. It's not effortless, and it's not $15,000. But it is real, it is achievable, and every single system on this land is one I understand completely, because I build it piece by piece on empty ground. If you're seriously considering something like this, start with the land, not the house. Everything else in this video flows from that first decision. Drop a comment telling me what state or country you're planning to build in, and I'll tell you what I'd check first for your specific climate. Subscribe if you want to follow the rest of this build. Next up, I'm doing a full breakdown of exactly what my system costs to run per month now that I've lived here through a full season. Real numbers, no guesses. Thanks for watching Tiny Home World. See you in the next one.